Ladies. So for the first time in a while, for those of you who only view the videos, I am I am here tonight on the show. I do want to bring you some contact when there's something worth to talk about. With this whole shutdown going on, and there is some contact that we have tonight. We actually have a few news around the NFL. The NFL has agreed to a new collective bargaining agreement, ladies and gentlemen, that will take the NFL labor free, which means they can play. They have an agreement. The players and owners have an agreement to play football for the next 11 years until this will expire until 2031. So no more. So we have football guaranteed until 2031 after this collective bargaining agreement was signed tonight. And there are some switches. The first one is we're going to go from 12 teams in the playoffs to 14, which means no longer do the 2 seed get a bye week. Now only the 1 seed. For example, this year, Green Bay would have played in the first round. Same thing, Kansas City would have played in the first round. Only Baltimore, the 1 seed, and San Francisco, the 1 seed, would have gotten bye weeks. The 7 seed would have been Los Angeles Rams and Pittsburgh Steelers. Those would have been the 7 seeds. So we would have gotten 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday. Obviously, 3 from the NFC, 3 from the AFC. And obviously the matchup would have been Packers 2 versus Los Angeles Rams 7th. Kansas City 2 versus Pittsburgh Steelers 7th. Those would have been the matchups. So that's the new thing. And I think that will kick off this year in 2020. So now we go from 12 to 14 teams. 3 games on 6 games now instead of 4. 6 games now on Wild Card Weekend. So more football. Pa-da-pa-da-pa. I love it. And then also, we go from 16 games to 17 games. But that will not start until 2021, I believe. So the thing that's going to be interesting about 17 games is that the owners actually wanted 18. The players wanted to stay at 16. So they negotiated, like, okay, we're not staying at 16 where the players want to stay, but we're also not going to go to 18 where the owners want to go. So let's stay in the middle at 17. What's going to be interesting here, ladies and gentlemen, is it's 17 is an odd number. So you would have, when it was 16 games, you would have 8 home games, 8 road games. Now you have you're off balance here because 17 is an odd number. So either somebody's going to have 7 games at home or they're going to have 9 games at home. So it's going to be interesting to see how the NFL handles that. Do they possibly do it where, okay, you still have 8 games on home, 8 games on the road, and let's give everybody a neutral site game? Maybe you send them to Europe, Mexico, Canada, or maybe what you do is you have all these stadiums now. You have the stadium in San Diego, nobody's using anymore. You have a stadium in San Antonio, nobody really uses. You have a stadium in St. Louis, nobody really uses. I think you have another one in Orlando. Nobody really uses that much. Do you use those cities where you have football stadiums? If you don't want to, because soccer season, I believe in Mexico is from July to December. So it's gonna be very hard to have, because there's 32 teams. So maybe cut it in half of the league go to London, half the other half go to Mexico. The problem is Mexico's got a soccer league in those stadiums from like July to December, and it's one thing to have 1 game a year, but have like 16 games. That's too much. That would be a problem for Mexico because of their soccer leagues. So I think what they could do is, and obviously they're traveling with Europe. Same thing. They probably have soccer leagues over there too. At Wembley Stadium. I think it makes more sense to possibly say, you know what, let's give everybody a neutral site game. So St. Louis, San Diego, San Antonio, all these cities that have football stadiums that no longer have a team. San Antonio never had a team, but remember the Saints played in San Antonio that one year when they couldn't because of the hurricane. So that's something they could look at. because I think it's kind of unfair. Some teams are going to get 7 home games, some teams are going to get 9. That's literally 2 more home games. That's bullshit. So that could be a possibility where they say, okay, let's use these other stadiums and let's give Oakland can be another one. You know, Oakland, St. Louis, San Antonio, San Diego. There's so many NFL stadiums that are not even being used. So that could be a possibility. We'll see how they do that. They have a year until 2021 to figure that one out. And the last one is players are now allowed to smoke marijuana. Obviously, some players are very talented, but they have struggled staying in the NFL because they can't stop smoking marijuana. Josh Gordon, Ricky Williams come to mind. Those two are probably the most that come to mind. So now Josh Gordon can finally stay in the NFL if he wants to come back, because now it is actually legal to smoke marijuana in the NFL. Smoke them if you got them, 420, if you know what I'm saying. I'm straight edge, by the way. But yes, so marijuana is now acceptable. So all these players like Ricky Williams and Josh Gordon that were getting suspended for smoking marijuana are now allowed to smoke marijuana. So really, the biggest things, it's now, instead of 12 team playoffs, it's now 14 teams. Instead of 16, it's now 17 games. And now you're legally allowed to smoke marijuana in the NFL. Those are pretty much everything. There's more stuff, but I'm not going to get into, the revenue. I think players are getting 48%. They went from 47 to 48%. The salaries do go up, especially for the practice squad players. Practice squad players, they're really going to see a huge improvement in their salary from what they were getting with this new collective bargaining agreement. So yes, some good stuff. The players win, with the marijuana case. They also, their salaries, especially the practice squad players, their salary gets a little bit better. And also the owners win. You add an extra week. Now it's 17 instead of 16 weeks. And you add 2 extra playoff games. So I think everybody wins here. We'll see what happens. Football, that's why I love football, man. It's always evolving. That's what football's about, evolving. If you don't evolve in life, you perish, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, let me know in the comment section what you think. And until next time, holla at your boy. Three preseason games, Marty. 3 preseason games. There's three preseason games. 17 games, 3 preseason games.